What's going on, guys? So Dan here, D-Speed Shop. Right now we're D-Speed shopping. We pulled out this 454 tunnel ram, dual quad, the whole deal, 700R, 4-speed transmission. We pulled it out of this wagon. So this is my 56 Chevy wagon, if you happen to be new here, and it is now heartless. So I think what the plan is today, this motor did have some leaks to it, which I got to figure out. So we're going to do a bit of a kind of a two-part video, but we'll finish it off separately, I guess. Step one is get this motor on this engine stand, transmission off. I don't know what we're going to do with that transmission. The original plan was power tour in this thing. And so I put this all together, thinking, oh, this would be kind of fun. And then down the road, maybe an LS motor, and then we'd have LS, overdrive, wagon, the whole thing. I've since bought a Nomad and all sorts of other cars, and this thing is just now, plans change. So it's going to end up being just a small block powered 3-speed turbo 350 automatic car, which is great, it'd be fine. But I don't know what this overdrive tranny is going to go in. It might go in Danny's car. She's got a 57 Chev, which will, needs a motor trans. So we'll figure it out. But, so motor on there, we can then turn this into a bit of a run stand and try and diagnose what is leaking on this thing, because that is very frustrating. Transmission and storage. And then over here, in the pile of motors, this big block Dodge, it was seized when I got it, but it doesn't look too bad. I got to do a video on this and see if I can get it running, or at least turning over and sell it. This transmission here, I've had for 10 years, and it's been in endless cars. I don't even know where I got it originally, to be honest with you, but I know I put a shift kit in it and a high stall, and then it was in my 47 Chevy for a bit. Oh, maybe it was in my Le Mans, I forget. It was in my Le Mans, then it was in my 47 Chevy, then it was in the Nova, which is now a 4-speed. Then it was in, maybe it was in Danny's car after that. I mean, it's been all over the place, but it's got some miles on it now. It's getting a little older. We're going to put it together behind this motor right here, which, this is a good one. I bought a square body a couple years ago. Had a miss, turns out it had a burnt valve. So I pulled it out, pulled one cylinder head off, changed one valve and put it back together, lapped it in. It was a good runner otherwise, had oil pressure. So, I mean, I don't know if we'd want to take it to Texas from Canada, but it'll be a good little putt around town. I do have an intake manifold for it. I don't think, I cleaned up the garage. I threw out all my stamped steel valve covers. So I'm going to have to buy a set of plain Jane valve covers for it. And I don't have a carburetor for it anyways. At least I might have an old Quadrajet somewhere. So we'll make that run. I got to modify the exhaust, do a little screwing around with there. But then that's the plan. So it'll be a small block, 4-barrel aluminum intake, probably a set of headers, ram horns or something like that. Behind a turbo 350 with a stall and a shift kit. Nothing crazy. I mean, we're talking 2500, 20, something like that stall. Just above stock. And put it back in the wagon, then it'll be a runner driver again. Life will be good. So I think this video, we're going to get the motor on the stand, transmission apart, then put this motor transmission together and see if we can hoist it and at least slip it in there. I'm hoping for, the motor mounts are going to be where they're going to be. That's a pretty standard position for big and small block Chevys. That's kind of just where they go. And I'm going to have stealing these motor mounts off this motor. These are solid motor mounts. Bolt it on there, slide it in, and the motor will be where it's going to be. And then on probably a future video, the transmission cross member, which is way under there, will probably have to be moved ahead or back or whatever it may be. Custom drive shaft made and a radiator. But at least we can get it in there and get it started. We'll be good. That's my plan. Let's get to the struggling. ring gear is on. It does have a kind of way it goes on. The indents are kind of facing the converter as it goes out, and it only kind of goes together one way. Loctite the bolts, pretty simple. Put a quick coat of paint on the transmission. Look at that, it looks rebuilt. The motor I actually painted, I don't know, last year or something like that. And then it sat. It's so mucky in here with snow and whatnot. The converter, so it kind of just goes on. You gotta give it a spin. That's one. Well, maybe not. It has to engage in the pump, which can be a bit of a pain, but we'll go. Actually, this converter, I don't even know where it came from. So hopefully will fit. I'm gonna spin this around 85 times and I'll get it fit. Okay, so this torque converter is what I had. So I just thrown out a pile of torque converters because I had a bunch. Every time I do a transmission, you take out a stock one and you put a performance one in. Well, I had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 junk. This was the best one, so I kept it. And as it turns out, the spline count was different. It wasn't fitting. I was messing around with it. It's for a power glide, so it's doubly useless to me. I then pulled out this one from the 700. It does fit, but of course it's going to be different with the lockup and all sorts of stuff like that. Plus, I just didn't want to use it. So I ran down to the local speed shop. So around here, Auto Parts Center is where I get all my stuff. If you guys are local, you know Old Man Boots and the boys. So you go down there, you pack a lunch for all the stories, but they happen to have a converter in stock that'll work just fine. So now, I still got to wrestle it in, but we're saved. So I'll get that together. Man, I got to clean up a little bit in here. We'll get that in. We'll bring it back. We'll kind of start wrestling this stuff together. Okay, so we got the transmission kind of turned around. Torque converter's in. It's imperative you get the torque converter in properly. So it'll go in 2 or 3 times as you'll rotate and it kind of goes in. You'll find that you can, well, at least my hands, I can't put my finger between the case and the torque converter. If it does that, for me, it's in. You're fine. If it's not in, you'll hate it. Next thing I did, I just took a couple 3/8 bolts and I trimmed the heads off. I only had one kind of long one, just to get the transmission lined up there and there. And on the dowels, once you get in there, you put kind of 3 or 4 bolts in, take those out. This one might be a bit of a, whatever, it'll be fine. Yeah, so slide it together, and then the torque converter won't be bolted to the ring gear, but we'll do that in the car. When we have a starter on it, we can bang it over and all sorts of stuff. The only thing I don't have is probably a starter. Who'd have thought throwing stuff out would slow me down all this much? So we got this thing up in the air. We got to kind of steer it in. Oh, gross behind the camera there. So I jumped ahead with all the pumping. You guys missed all the pumping action. Oh, the garage is slanted the wrong way. Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff here. You know, I should just buy a garage that's like 4 feet longer. Probably make your life a lot easier, or work on cars that are 2 feet shorter. Yeah, sorry, this new microphone, you guys might not like it so much.
They get to hear all the old man
Oh, if I had a microphone on my knees, that's where it would really be bad. Okay. Hey, look at this. I got this crank thing that remember that guy sent us?
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone got tired of me struggling. So we'll see if she actually works. Currently, it's going to be in the way. Okay. So now this goes. Oh, where does this have to go? The other way. Oh. Feels like it needs some grease on it or something. Where do I put this? This handle is run into this. And I need more before we can go back. What are we going to do about that? Well, I guess turn sideways. I'll try this. We're now on the car. Maybe I should have read the instructions, eh?
Not really your style.
Fumbling my way through life that's my style. This is pretty handy though, I gotta say. Just a little bit more. This handle's definitely gonna get in the way. Is it crunching anything important over there, you see?
It's just crunching those pipes, brake lines, gas lines. I don't know. What
Transmission lines?
Yeah.
I'm thinking this will be close enough, eh? I think once we start going down. Oh. Sometimes I like to put bolts under the wheels just so I feel stronger when I push against it. Oh. It's got a bit of a leak there. And it's stuck on the trans or the steering. Nope. Everything is so difficult all the time. Oh, the wheels are all jacked up. That's the problem. Stupid steering. You want to see if it's going to hit that link I just moved? It went under it?
Yeah.
What's it hitting? It feels like it's hitting something.
You can't see anything. It's like it cleared it.
Maybe I'm just not as strong as I thought I was. Oh.
Well, you're no boosted muscles.
Stupid boosted lifestyle. CrossFit lifestyle, that guy. How am I gonna...
Ingenuity at its finest.
Yeah, I can figure it all out. It's not just a wrench, it's also a paperweight. We're definitely crooked, but the garage slope works against us. And also, all the transmission oil puddles on this side, so it's nice and slippery. Why can I not pivot this thing? Going in crooked. It's fine. Well, I wonder if I should have had this thing a longer setting with being a small block and all. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna want it one rung longer. We are.
We have to restart.
No. It's just slightly inconvenient. That's all. What should we do here? I think we'll just drop it in the car and we'll re-rig. Hopefully it's all fine. Just don't stand under the car. I think it'll be fine. There's a lot of tension on that exhaust. Aren't you glad we spent all that money on that new shop? This is what we're doing.
As the Americans would say, OSHA.
We don't have OSHA here, so you can't screw it up.
That's why I said the Americans.
If there's no OSHA, you can't break it. Okay. We're basically safe again. I always feel as long as you're not under the motor, you can't get hurt. It's like anything. I mean, even if it breaks, I mean, it'll just cost money. As long as it doesn't cost you your life, what's the big deal? Right? Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now what does this... Man, this needs a little grease on it or something. It's all next door. Can you pass me a bottle of that Move It on top of the paper towel?
This one?
No. That one, yeah. Is it full? Don't just be flashing around like sponsored ads. You had to pay for this. Oh, did I get you?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I wasn't wearing my protective goggles.
And again with the OSHA. Going the right way? Yeah. The old lefty, loosey, righty, tighty here. They need instructions. Okay. Look how easy this is going.
I am shocked.
How many? Well, we're not in yet. Sounds a little crunchy, but I think it's fine. Okay, whoa. Okay. That's not bad. We got one in. I think that one will line up. What do I want to do? I want to tilt it. Wow, this thing is friggin' handy when you know how to use it. Who'd have thought, eh? Oh, I've bunged it. You drop it? Something's not happy here. Maybe, what's it stuck? Oh yeah, no, I see. Yeah, we gotta jack it up. Can't keep going. See if we can sneak. Oh yeah, there. Hang on. Oh no, this is. Okay, not bad, not bad. You want to drop this one down? Or drop the whole thing down? Whoa, 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 whoa. You were just ready for it to go right together, eh? It's just a little... Oh, you know what? I had washers on the motor mounts, and that's clearly why. Center it a little bit because it's a little short. I'll do that, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, I got two eyes. They can look at more than one thing at once.
Luckily, they can't hear you. So we got it in. I just put a couple of washers on the motor mounts, so that's good. The only thing I did do, I got to put some washers in here because that's what I had on the big block to space it. I could go backwards or I could go forwards. I don't know what the best way to do it would be. I think it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Oh yeah, that's what I did. So I'm going to get this thing in spaced, and then I think I'm just going to leave it for right now because I am over it. And then I'll come back either later tonight or tomorrow and we'll see what the deal is with the transmission crossmember. It should be, I mean, it's all there, ready to go. It should just be cutting out the perches and moving it ahead. Unfortunately, I don't have a welder in this garage. That's convenient, so I'll have to screw out the welder. But for at least now it's in, we're good. And then if I get the transmission, like I said, mounted up, then we can take the engine crane away and then start doing intake manifold and all that. Put the radiator and all that in, but it went pretty well. So, we'll see in a little bit. So it's the next day. We've got the motor in and it's supported properly. I'll show you what I did. I didn't film under the car. I had to do a little work on the transmission crossmember. Really, it was pretty easy, but I did have to use a welder and I just went to the other garage, so I didn't want to do a bunch of filming. I slapped, this is all just stuff I had. Probably won't go on this motor because this is all like nice stuff. Aluminum water pump, set of nice valve covers, and an intake, just to kind of give it a look and keep the junk out of it for now. I think I have another distributor, something I can put in there, so we're good. I found these, I had these headers forever. They're actually a pain. Oh, now they're stuck in there. So they're mid-length headers, but they're nice. They're thick flanges. They're ceramic coated. They don't fit anything. I haven't found one thing they've been able to fit. So maybe they're for like a full-size car. They didn't fit the Nova. They haven't fit any Tri-5. They haven't fit, well, I don't know. I've had them for a while now. So I'm gonna make them fit. That's the next video. So the problem is they go in okay, but that's where the mount hole is, and that's where it wants to be, so it's an inch out. And this pipe right here is KOing into the steering box. And instead of buying a set of headers or exhaust manifolds, I'm just gonna cut these and re-weld that one tube. Won't look the greatest, but you know what? They've been sitting around for 5 or 6 years. They're going on something they're going on. The other side, they fit not bad. I'll scoot over there. I got them on. They're a little close to the floor on this side, but it should work out just fine. They're away from the steering. There's no issues. That's the problem I've run into. Well, this isn't the first time I've tried to fit them on a Tri-5 with this situation. If the motor was back a little bit, maybe it would be a little easier. But ultimately, this one pipe's just a gong show. And Tri-5s are always a pain on the driver's side because of the steering box. I'll bring it underneath real quick. Give the tripod a break. Just show you what I did. Ugh. So very simple under here. Man, is it dark? There we go. I just extended the mount, so it held just fine. We used the factory bolts and all that, so that was all good. And you can see where the header drops out. It's a little close to the floor, but ultimately we're running 2.5-inch exhaust, so it'll come out the center of that. It'll be fine. A little bit of modification to the existing exhaust. You got your fancy clothes on today. So that's where we're at. I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. I have to measure for a drive shaft because this transmission is slightly shorter by about probably 3 inches. So that means the drive shaft has to be 3 inches longer, but I want to keep this drive shaft because behind any small block or big block with a 700 and a Tri-5, that transmission, this drive shaft will work. So I'll give my buddy Ryan a call tomorrow, and I'm sure he can have one whipped up in a couple of days. So motor trans are in, drive shaft will be in a couple of days. Otherwise, modify the exhaust, and then it's just distributor. I don't have a carburetor, unfortunately. I gotta try and find one of those. And I gotta try and find some stock, intake, valve covers, all that sort of stuff. Put the core support back in. I did find I have 3 Tri-5 copper radiators, or brass, wherever they are. One I know leaks, so we'll play like the card game. Hopefully I'll find one that's okay. Put in here, and I think we should be good enough to make it run and drive anyways. Then I'm gonna pillage the back seat, some of the tailgate stuff. But otherwise, it has headlights, it'll run, drive, has brakes, all that. The steering clears, everything should be good. But that's it for now. I'm taking a break. We're actually gonna have lunch, and then we're gonna immediately start another video where I chop up these brand new nice headers.
Well, they're not brand new if they've been sitting in the basement for 6 years.
they're new, never used. They're clean inside, like never had any exhaust through them, but they have been beat on a few times. 'Cause I've tried to fit them a few different times, and now I'm just like, screw it. I was all obsessed. I didn't want to ruin the finish. Now I'm like, cut it, ugly weld it together. It'll be fine. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.